Top of it, top of it. So I was really just one of the homies yesterday was reaching out to me regarding breaking down top five of hip hop goats, right? Of what, from my perspective, what is the criteria regarding that? And for me, and everything was pretty much in the moment, like on the top of my head. You know, what comes to mind, who comes to mind regarding the criteria side of it, and then he also asked me about I want to say he might have said top 10, my top 10. But real simple, to keep it real simple, you know, the criteria off the top of my head, based on what I said yesterday, was influence. You got to have a certain level of influence, longevity as well. Longevity. I mentioned credibility. I forget what the fourth one was. Influence, longevity, credibility, and I don't know if it was maybe songwriting skills or something to that effect. You know, obviously your ability to be able to write music as well, but also your track record. You know, regarding your discography. We talk about albums, we talk about singles, we talk about, because even the mixtape conversation is a different type of conversation, right? And there's so many different subgenres or subcategories within talking about the greatest of all times, and obviously it's different eras with that too. But yeah, and then obviously, I mean, Pac and Big, they didn't have the opportunity to be able to have longevity based on their situation. But you know, a lot of the OGs in the game, I would like to think, learned from that situation, like Jay-Z and Nas, and they didn't. They had they beef, but they didn't really make it violent, which is great, you know, because let's call a spade a spade. You know, a lot of the new guys nowadays, you know, they can be talented, they could be dope, but a lot of them, they're not lasting long. You know, it's almost like they don't know how to move in this game, you know, understand how to move in this game. You know what I mean? And that's important. You know, that's when they talk about the rap game versus the crack game. How Hov used to say, maybe hustling ain't you. Maybe hustling just ain't you. You know, like if you don't know how to maneuver strategically in a particular lane, this game, profession, you know, it's probably the wrong profession for you. You know, because that's a part of being good at it, right? It's not about, you know, doing something and then getting caught. It's about doing it and not having the ability or abilities to not get caught. You know what I'm saying? And being able to live to tell your story. Now, granted, you know, you got some guys who they may get caught up in something and then go do some time, have a blessing to be able to have the grace to be able to come back still young, right? Or would not say you could be 20, get locked up 20 years and get out at 40 and you're still young, you know. But then obviously playing catch up, but you can really learn a lot and bounce back beautifully. And if you become resilient and really make that situation catapult you into something major, gotta tip your hat off to that, you know. So those particular categories are important. And then, you know, just the top 10 off of my head, you know, I mean, Jay-Z, no particular order, he asks as well, just in general. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Pac, Eminem, Fabulous, T.I., Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and then I did mention, I said Tip. Some guys are interchangeable, right? Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne. But then some people may say like he was talking about how Jeezy, he's just a club artist, right? But I mean, if we're talking about, again, back to subcategories, subgenres, like trap music, right? Top 5 greatest trap rappers. Once that was created, Jeezy's in that, right? T.I. is in that. You know, T.I. is in 2 categories. You know, lyrically, I mean, one of the best lyrically, as well as trap as well. It's argued that he invented that sound. You know, so. But like that, these guys, I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, been in the game 10 years, 20 years, you know, and then obviously you got some new faces in there and I spoke about Drake. I mean, he's kind of in his own category because he's really more than a hip hop artist. He's like pop. He's very pop, you know, which it doesn't take away from him. You know, it really furthered the hip hop culture. Let's call it for what it is. Think about it. Even from a profitable standpoint, you know, since Drizzy, no different from Jay-Z opening doors. Jay-Z is a big reason. Nas is a big reason why a lot of these guys are making the money they're making today. Drake furthered that. You feel me? So let's call a spade a spade. So, and then when I look at Cole, Kendrick, I mean, come on now, influence, right? He spoke about, I want to say, I think he said, you know, Kendrick wasn't there yet, or he might have said something about Cole. And I was like, Cole can sell out Madison Square Garden. And he's not even from New York. Put that in perspective. You know, I told him since K-Dot been out, it's been a lot of niggas copying his style, you know, and that's another indicator too. When niggas is taking your style, taking your sound, you know, and yeah, people may say, oh, well, they took somebody. I mean, you know, I'm not a big advocate on obviously taking somebody's style, but if you can grab something, what Picasso say, I think the quote is a good artist creates and a great artist steals, something to that effect. But shit, if you can make something 10 times better than what it is, you know what Jay-Z said, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. Let's call it for what it is, you know what I mean? So, you know, but this is very simplistic. You know, me being somebody that, you know, I am in the rap game. I'm still active. Like, you know, I got, you know, with my 20 plus years based on from an underground level, you know, the commercial success that I've had, like the ins and outs of things, and being able to really see things from a much more, you know, clairvoyant lens. You know what I'm saying? I can pick apart things that the average person may not know regarding backstories and the essence and stuff. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? I threw that at him. He loves Nas. You know, obviously Nas is a legend. You know what I'm saying? I believe they say they study his lyrics at Harvard, as they should. You know, so. But yeah, let me know what you think of it. You know, give me your take on it and your perspective on it, regarding your criteria, as well as, you know, off the top of your head, top 10 that comes to mind.